gonna take a walk outside today. Gonna see what we can find today. We're gonna take a walk outside today. Gonna see what we can find today.
Hi everybody, so I just came back from my big regatta sailing event. This is the t-shirt I had to wear. Sorry, I'm a little tired today. I've been sick and so I missed my classes, but making a video doesn't take a lot of effort. So I'm gonna finally update you guys on what's going on. So for the trip, I actually ended up flying down on Thursday. Now the problem with that is that I have 2 classes on Thursday, so I missed both of my listening and speaking classes, one for my sophomores and one for my freshmen. But it's okay because you can make those up. Although it was a little strange to have one of my teachers tell me that I did something very inappropriate. Apparently I didn't fill out paperwork that they never told me about, so c'est la vie, China. So Thursday, I'm flying down. My flight was at 8:30 in the morning, so I got up very early, of course. Although still not as bad as 5:30 in the morning. So I get all the way down to Sanya. I have just one connection, not a big deal, and I was able to read everything, so it wasn't, it went smoothly. And I was greeted at the airport by my interpreter, Kurt. Very nice young man. I was also picked up in a convertible. Yeah, because I guess, you know, if you're in tropical island, why not? So we first drive to the sailing club, which is actually basically in the same building. It's part sailing club and part sailing club hotel. And so it's called the XIII Royal Yacht Club. And I have their burgee actually in the background. You guys can't see it, but it's up there a bit. I'll show you later in a picture. On that note, I moved my living room around yet again because now I have 2 couches. So pretty soon we'll be doing kind of, well, the building I live in is building 8, and it hosts all of the international teachers, and none of us really know each other, so I thought it would be nice to get everybody together and do like coffee or tea and some snacks. So the first one will actually be starting this Friday in my place. So I'm really excited. Back to Sanya. So I get there, we're going to the hotel. I have the most amazing room. It's probably at least the size of my apartment, if not actually bigger, and it has a giant tub. And when I mean giant, I mean like people who are 6 feet tall would easily fit in this tub. Probably 4 feet deep, 6 or more feet long, and completely gorgeous. Looks like it's never been even touched. The walls have marble all the way up the sides, and I'll see if I can add a picture for you guys to check out. The bed there is about 20 times better than my own at home. So if I could live in the hotel, I would gladly do so. But I felt very, very blessed to be there. We went down and looked at the boats that the people would be racing in, and they were beautiful. Probably 30 some odd feet and monohulls. When we went down to the inside, you know, the cabin, there was still plastic on the tables. Like they were basically unused. Gorgeous, gorgeous boats. And we had a little bit of a discussion on how the next day was going to go, because that was when everything was going to happen. And I still wasn't completely sure what all I was doing, so I was really glad to have that talk. The next day, we get up maybe at like 10 a.m., so not a big deal. I went down to the staff area to eat their food, which was really kind of fun because, you know, you never get to see the inside, the inner workings of a hotel, and so I got to this time, and so that was interesting. And the food was actually really, really good. I was surprised. So we had breakfast, went back, hung out for a little while, and then we went through our briefing. So our briefing was basically super basics of sailing. Most of us would just be bored to tears, at least for those of us who sail. I told everyone how to tack, how to jibe, what the starting sequence is like, you know, basic rules of the road for boats, windward, leeward, that kind of thing. So that was really fun. The only issue I had was we had a PowerPoint, which was perfect, but we had clickers for the computers to change the slides. Well, turns out I'm really, really bad at using them. So I would change the slide before I meant to, because they had two functions. One function was a laser pointer. The other function was to change the screen, you know, to a new slide. Well, every time I wanted to just use the pointer, I changed the slide. So this probably happened 3 or 4 times, and I felt like such an idiot. But I think it was okay because everyone seemed to enjoy it anyway, and after the fact, the staff was really excited, and they have indicated that they want me to come back and do more events. So I'm really hoping that comes through. So after we did the briefing, we had a little bit of time to go get lunch, again in the staff area. So really interesting. I got stared at by all the staff. It was fun. Ask where I was from. Because actually the funny thing here is, you know, we think we go somewhere and someone will automatically assume we're American. Well, I apparently look Russian to everyone over here since Russia's so close. You know, it's the closest blonde or blue-eyed, really light-skinned, really pale people. And so I'm assumed to be Russian instead of American, which has been kind of interesting. Set off from eating lunch and we go to our committee boat. Now, you know, our committee boats are small and they're motorboats and they're not super exciting. Well, the one I was on was probably a 40, 50-foot catamaran, you know, with a full cabin and 4 beds inside. So that was fun. And although being on race committee enough in my life, I can happily say that it was not very well done. But that's okay. I got to do the flags, so if you check out my pictures, you'll see me doing some flags. The original course was to sail around 2 islands and then come back. Well, we got a late start because in between the racing boats being done with the briefing and then actually racing, they had kind of playtime in the middle where they went to this floating island and they had like jet skis and golf and these like really super fast motorboats, kind of the racing boats. So they took a little more time than I think the planners wanted, but seemed like they were having fun. So what happened was the skippers on the boats, who were not the, you know, people who didn't know how to sail, they had people from the club. They came and picked them up on, you know, the floating island, and then everybody went out to the race course. So we had our starting line in a typical sequence, and so everybody started and went around one small island and then came all the way back to the club, and we set a finish line like pretty close. So, you know, it wasn't what we think of as a course, like it wasn't a triangle course or a double windward leeward or anything like that. It was just simply going around an island and coming back.